Today's question is, military personnel of Reddit, what's the best, weirdest, funniest punishment you've seen handed down by a superior?
USMC here. In our unit we had one guy that would constantly hum songs. Well, one day our CO had enough of his behavior, so he tells him to report to his locker. So he goes to his locker and stands in front of it. CO tells him to get inside the locker. When he does, he shuts and locks the door with him inside. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a quarter and pushes it through the vent holes and tells the guy to start singing and tells him that whenever someone puts a quarter in the slot, he was to sing another song. This went on for 6 hours. The guy made around $15 in quarters, and we were all in pain from laughing at him. Needless to say, he acquired the name Jukebox and never hummed again. Think I can get this one. Don't know if you guys know what outdoor barracks are, but it's where your front door leads to outside. Like a motel. Consider a dorm where all the doors lead to outside. If you were on the 3rd or 4th floor, etc., your door would lead to a catwalk/balcony right outside. Anyway, it's me and my boy Y, or let's call him Will. Will is 21 and is authorized 72-ounce worth of beer in his fridge 6-pack. Room inspection time, motherfuckers. Should better be fucking clean. Me and Will get some awesome first-degree luck from our guardian assholes, and we get Gunny to do our inspection. Will's got a sock on the floor. A fucking sock. Look, I don't know if you guys know about military cleanliness and inspections and shit, but when you're getting inspected by a gunny, a sock on the ground is the equivalent of a pregnant dead hooker. Gunny goes Super Saiyan, and now starts the beginning of the end. Gunny has turned into a fucking hungry, hateful hound, and is now going to start smelling every little nook and cranny to smash Will. And since Will is my roomie, I'm going to feel the wrath too. Also, when you're getting inspected, anything you lock up, wall lockers, desks, drawers, usually won't get asked to be opened, but if it's not locked, it's free game. Will didn't lock his wall locker up. Gunny's eyes open up to the size of my asshole after getting fucked by the core. It's the other sock. God damn it, Will. Along with this sock is a cup filled with pennies. Yes, pennies, like $19 worth of pennies, so you do the math. Gunny instantly pulls the penny pot and projects it all over the room. There's pennies everywhere. They're on the floor, in my bed, in the shower, the sink, some still in the cup, and Gunny's hat. Everywhere. Gunny starts sniffing more and opens the fridge. Remember how you're allowed 72 OZs of beer? Well, Gunny finds some shit. Holy mother of God, Marine? You better hope my math sucks, which it does, so give me a minute. But if this shit is over your limit. Will has 3 12-ounces cans and a 40. The 40 was half empty, by the way, but by default that adds up to, drum roll please, 76 ounces. He overdid it by 4 fucking ounces. At this point, Gunny is calm, and he looks at us. Here's another thing you probably don't know. Gunnies are not mythical creatures you hear about. They are real. There's a lot of documentation on them. Recently, there was a documentary put out about them. What I'm getting at is that when a gunny is chewing you out and then becomes calm, it's because he's seen it. He's seen the fate of the 2 lances. It's perfect. It'll break them down, repent for their sins and make them thoughtless, order following Marines. We saw a twinkle in his eye, a tear, and a joyous smile as he whispered to himself, "It's perfect." You guys, I like this room. I like it a lot. I also like that basketball court over there. There was a basketball court about 50 yards in the courtyard. I want those 2 together. You see that basketball court, devils? Yes, Gunny. I want your room there. You may think this is some ass backwards shit, which it is, but in the Marine Corps, ass backwards and is actually the preferred method of progress. We knew exactly what he wanted. A good old Chinese field day, which is when you take all the contents of the room out of the room until it's completely gutted and clean it, then return the contents. Only Gunny put his mythical spin on it and made us literally set the room up identically on the fucking court. So we get started, and this shit isn't easy. First off, I forgot my keys at the shop. Gunny ain't letting us go back, so I can't get my keys to unlock my coffin bed with drawers attached underneath, my wall locker, or anything to make shit easy to move. Gunny stated the guidelines that he doesn't care how we get the room there. Our technique started off kitty cornering things, but that shit sucked after about 2 hours. So it got to the point where we just started to straight up roll shit. Desks, drawers, beds. Everything in the barracks is usually made to last, either out of thick wood or some sort of aluminum alloy. Our shit was the metal shit. Orchestra of 1,000 toddlers banging on pants. People are looking at us, laughing at us, sitting down to fucking watch us. This shit is the talk of the whole base. A group of dudes were about ready to play basketball. Not today, motherfuckers. Unless you want to sleep on the court, you're out of fucking luck. Well, gets a fabulous idea. Gunny steps out and it's SGT watching us. SGT, Gunny said we could use any method to get the stuff on the court. Okay. We'd like to run to the PX and get a skateboard. It's about 1.5 miles away. Okay. Good luck. You got 20 minutes. We're sweaty as fuck, might I add you, and our uniforms are shit. You have to look good everywhere you go, including the PX. Looking sloppy and half dead as fuck, we run to PX, find a skateboard, and run back. I know I was brief riding the skateboard pickup, but believe me, that shit was something in its own in the 100 July, North Carolina heat. We get back. Giant wall locker number 1. It's Will's. Should be a little lighter since the 19,000 pennies have been carefully removed from its empty space. Alright, John, this skateboard is gonna make this shit hella easy. Let's pick up the wall locker and kitty it onto the board. Okay, Will. We start slowly, kittying it on the boa. Snap. Snap. Snap cracker and motherfucking pop, nigga. That shit broke right away. Right the fuck away. Like pedestrian status in a crosswalk. Anyway, that's about it. We continued to move our shit until about 7 p.m. when it started to rain and Gunny finally returned like, oh shit, I forgot about these numbnuts and it's starting to rain. I think I could get in trouble. Not entirely sure, but I could. He let in the routine, right when we were about to get fun with it. We just had gotten the lamps and we're going to use people to holding our posters to simulate walls. After that, a few of our buddies helped us back in. What a fucking day in North Cackalack. I was in a gender-mixed company in Basic. The third floor of the barracks was split with females on one half and males on the other. Males were not allowed in the female half and vice versa. My platoon was out back practicing throwing grenade bodies, and a window on the female side of the third floor opened and a male sneaked out of the window onto the ledge. It was immediately obvious to everyone, including our drill SGT, that he had been in there messing around with a female, and a drill SGT must have come down the hall, forcing him to get out onto the ledge so he wouldn't get caught. Our drill SGT looked at the guy for a minute and then yelled really sarcastically, "Don't do it private. You have lots to live for." Then they put him on suicide watch and made him hand over his belts and tie and shoelaces and everything that he could hang himself with, and made him drag his newly bare mattress out into the hallway next to the fire guard desk and sleep out there every night until we graduated 4 weeks later. And they made his battle buddy sleep on the floor next to him for the first week. Tildar, male caught messing around with female, treated like potential suicide for remaining month of BCT. One of my friends from my first base and I were swapping basic stories, and I think he had the scariest. On the first day of third week, they hadn't performed up to standards, and the MTI told them he'd be staying late that night to try to fix them. The MTI calls his wife to let her know he'd missed dinner and would be home late, and she blew the fuck up. She was screaming at the MTI about how he's just using his job as an excuse, how he doesn't even care about her. And while all this is going on, the MTI is just pleading with her. She hangs up on him, and the MTI looks at the flight with this expression of cold hate and says he was going to his office for a minute to think of an appropriate way to punish the flight for their shit. Basic training is a lot of talk. The MTIs can PT you until your body gives out and scream at you, but they can't actually hurt you. In that moment, though, as the room waited for the MTI to come back, they weren't so sure that would be the case. He was going to make them pay, and my friend said that was the only time in Basic he felt true fear. It turns out, it was all an act. The MTI had had that genuinely happen during a previous flight, and it had terrified them into compliance so well he got his wife to pull it off every flight afterwards. And this is the end of today's video. I hope you liked it, and don't forget to comment an anecdote or experience similar to the topic of the video. Leave your like, share if you liked the video, and lastly, don't forget to activate the little bell so you don't miss any of our daily videos. Bye-bye.